Hi, welcome to the Rittner's Floral School in Boston, Mass. I'm Dr. Steve Rittner, and it's a pleasure to welcome you into one of our classrooms today because we're going to do something that's really neat. Now, we've done a video, one of our demonstrations here online, of a design done in a watermelon. And you may have already viewed it. The results are here on the left, or on your right actually. But in this particular video, what we're going to do is we're going to take the same concept, the idea of taking a watermelon as a base, and we're going to play with it in a totally different way. I think that one of the interesting things about contemporary floral designing is that it is so eclectic. We can move in so many different directions. We can do things that are very classical, but we have so many other styles and approaches that are available to us to play with today. And we find it fascinating as a floral school in that we go from one extreme to another, going from classical styles to very, very contemporary and yes, even bleeding edge styles within our training. And so what we thought we might do in today's lesson is to show you a contrast between a classical treatment in terms of the watermelon and then taking the top part of the watermelon and playing with it in another way. I think you're going to really find it interesting. So let's go to work on this. First of all, I'm going to take this and remove this so that it's not in the way. And we have our watermelon top that's placed here. We've put our watermelon container in place so that we have a piece of foam in it. The foam is wrapped on the bottom, in this particular case, with a little bit of plastic wrap so that we don't get any excessive water leakage on it. We could alternatively use a plastic container, but it's equally pretty, and I think we're going to do something really interesting and stylistically very, very different than we did on the first design. Now, I'm going to start off by taking a different kind of material that we didn't use in the last one. Some of our large leaves, some of our large tropical leaves are absolutely incredible. And you can do this kind of styling with aspidistra leaves or Thai leaves, whichever you like. They give a really great effect, and when we start playing with some of these tropical leaves, we're automatically playing with something that will be architectural. Our foliage here is not being used to cover mechanics, but is rather being used in an architectural kind of manner to come up with an interesting effect. And so with two of my large exotic tropical leaves, notice the effect we're getting immediately, and a very, very different kind of effect than on the last design. Now I'm going to add another product that we haven't played with before. This is called kiwi. This is kiwi. This is the vine. If you like eating kiwi, well, this is the vine that comes with it. And this particular vine is dried out a little bit, but it gives some really interesting curves and curls. And I'm going to play with a little bit of my kiwi here. And notice that by placing a kiwi up here, kind of behind, look at how tall this thing is actually becoming. So that we've got this incredible kind of curve that's working up here, as well as our architectural use of our foliage. I'm going to use a little bit more of my kiwi as well. And I'm going to take another piece of kiwi, and isn't this wild looking stuff? And I'm going to place it over on the left side of my design. And I'm going to also place a couple of pieces over from this side. I'm going to continue my angle of my placement. I'm going to place some kiwi also over onto the right side. If you look closely, you'll see it kind of curving up here, and it gives an interesting effect. Now, this is very, very minimalist to be sure. We've got to add a little bit more to this, and so to add a little bit more, let's add some of our flowers, and I'm going to start with some of my roses, and I'm using the same watermelon colored rose that we used in our last design using a piece of watermelon, but I'm going to take it. Notice in this particular case I've stripped all of my foliage off because again this is a little bit more of a contemporary avant-garde kind of feeling, and I'm going to cut another one of these down a little bit shorter and place this a little bit shorter still in my base. And I'm going to take another one of my roses, a more open one, and place it right down here at the bottom. So notice we're creating a linear effect in our design. And let's take another one of our roses and place another rose over on this side. So notice that we're coming up with something that is very, very different in feeling to our last design. Now, I'm going to show you another flower that's kind of cool. This is a palm, believe it or not. It's in the palm family, but it's a green color. Isn't it cool and kinky? Well, we're going to use a few of these as well. And I'm going to take a few of my palms, and I'm going to create another line using some of my palms. And the nice thing about these kind of green palms is that they come with multiple flowers on a stem, so I can break a stem down and come up with a very, very neat effect on it. And so I'm taking this and I'm gradually starting here and I'm gradually coming down with my palms, creating a little, almost like a little section here that just has palms in it. I'm going to take another one and work another one a little bit lower still. And notice how I'm gradually coming down towards my base using some of my palms. So very, very different kind of feeling, isn't it, than the more classical expression that we did a minute ago in terms of our watermelon. And now I'm going to take a little bit more palm and place another one right over here. It's coming out slightly at an angle. Now, I've got a lot of things going on over here in terms of weight of my flowers, but I only have a kiwi vine coming up here. I need a little bit more visual weight in order to carry this thing. And what better way to do it if we're coming up with a contemporary and an oddball kind of effect than with our bells of Ireland. Bells of Ireland are a wonderful, wonderful flower when you want to come up with something that feels avant-garde and a little bit unusual and kinky. And so I'm going to take a bells of Ireland and I'm going to work it in over onto the right side of this design. And I think that this will help give us a very, very neat effect for our unit. So I'm placing one over here. And notice how this is giving us a nice gentle curve on it. That's a nice thing about bells of Ireland. Sometimes they come with this kind of cool curve and we can make use of it. And I'm going to place a second one over here as well. So I've got a couple of curves of bells of Ireland shooting up on that side. And I'm going to continue adding a little bit more over on this side with another one of my palms here and another one over here. So I'm working a few more palms into this design. And you know, I seem to have a little bit more of my kiwi sticks hanging around here in my workroom. So I'm going to add another kiwi stick and I'm going to work it over onto this side as well. So it's kind of alternating with my bells of Ireland and my other kiwi sticks. So we have the two kiwis, one here and then the bells of Ireland over there. So it gives a very, very different kind of feeling than the first. I'm often asked, is there a particular Rittner kind of style that we teach here at Rittner's Floral School in Boston? And the answer is there isn't a Rittner style. There are many different styles of floral art being done at the present time. The floral world is quite eclectic in terms of approaches and technique. And what we want to do is show our students a variety of techniques so that they can derive all kinds of effects that will make people's lives better and will help decorate and shape interiors. To cover my mechanics on this, I'm going to take a little bit of a product that we love here at Rittner's. I call it Stephen Hair. Well, maybe not exactly, it's Spanish moss, but we like to use it here sometimes in some of our contemporary designing. And I'm taking a few pieces of our Spanish moss and I'm very carefully tucking it in to cover my mechanics, because good workmanship always does require that we cover our mechanics. And I'm going to use a few small hairpins using wire to make sure that it stays in there and it's nice and affixed. So notice that this is a very, very different kind of style than the design that we did at first. The first one that we showed you in a watermelon was very classical, an abundant kind of design, filled with all kinds of blossoms and a polychromatic mixture of all kinds of things. In this particular design, you notice that what we're showing here is a mixture of different things. We've got some of our roses here, we've got some of our button palms, we have some of our bells of Ireland, some of our kiwi. We're using foliage in an architectural kind of form. We're making use of positive space here and here and here, and yet there's negative space here and here, and the use of our, again, of our moss to cover our mechanics. Are there different kinds of styles? Many. And one of the things that we're very strong on here at Rittner's Floral School is we cover a variety of different styles, techniques, and approaches to help folks learn the art of floral design. I do hope that you found this short little demonstration of a contemporary expression done in a watermelon to be of interest and enjoyable. We enjoyed having you come and visit with us on this video clip. Do come and take a course with us here at Rittner's. And again, from all of us at Rittner's Floral School in Boston, we thank